Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this special video, I'm gonna show you guys how to find US clinical experience if you're an IMG, even if you're an IMG, and also for USMDs and DOs. There's a lot of free options as well. So let's get started. So the smartest way to approach that, guys, is to tailor your US clinical experience to the residency programs you're intending to apply to. And I'm going to show you shortly how you can do that. That's in addition to the formal VSLO that I'm gonna show you right now, that is visiting student learning opportunities. If your medical school participates in that, that is much easier. It's a platform that has all those electives offered. And then there's the non-VSLO hospitals that have their own official forms, and I'm gonna show you a list of these. These include Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic, University of Illinois at Chicago, University of Pittsburgh. There's so many options, but usually those offer these for a heaping tuition fee. And then finally, and that is the smartest way to go about it, guys, is residency program search. Since you're doing that essentially to get US letters of recommendation, so you might as well do it in the place where you want to do your residency, so that they know you, at least so that they invite you for interview. That's the smartest way to go about it. And a lot of hospitals do offer medical student hands-on experience without formally mentioning it. You just need to go to the website and check. So how can you actually do that? Let's go. Here I am logged in to VSLO, or Visiting Students Learning Opportunities. How you find electives here would be to click on this button called Find Electives, and then you filter out by specialty depending on what you want. So let's say I'm gonna choose probably internal medicine, since this is the one IMGs commonly apply for. So yeah, let's choose internal medicine. Okay, let's choose neurology. Okay, and then select the country. Obviously it's going to be the United States, since you want to do US clinical experience. And then the states you're most comfortable with, but not just that, keep in mind that you want the states where you're going to apply for residency as well. It's the same states where you're going to choose your US clinical experience, right? Not necessarily though, but maybe the one you're comfortable with. Because any clinical experience is good, even if this is not where you're going to do your residency, right? And the city, obviously. So maybe we can do the state of California, for instance, and New Jersey. Like, you can Illinois, you can limit it to certain states, or you can just be open, right? Language of instruction must be English, obviously, or English and Spanish, or whatever, right? The duration is important here, depending on how long you intend to spend. For a single rotation, it's usually 2 to 4 weeks. So let's say I'm gonna spend like 2 months, so that's gonna be 8 weeks. Clinical is most important. That's actually the most important part of it. It has to be clinical or involve clinical, maybe clinical and research. Observerships don't count, unfortunately, for residency programs. So I'm gonna choose clinical only, with in-person being very important as well. And maybe you want to consider your budget here. I'm gonna tell you that there is a lot of hospitals that do that without any form of tuition, which is amazing, but a lot of them do have a tuition fee, so you can filter by that, but that would obviously limit your options. So let's apply those filters and see what's gonna bring us. Okay, so I'm gonna eliminate. So here it came up to me all the available electives for me, because like as an international medical graduate, you're only limited to a certain institutions that provide training for IMGs, right? Not all of them would accept IMGs. So these are, as you can see, the institutions that accept that. We have the University of Pittsburgh, Baylor College of Medicine, you got U of Colorado, Weill Cornell, Cleveland Clinic as well do have that, but it's outside of VSLO, Mayo Clinic. So you got a lot of options here and a lot of specialties as well. So that's amazing. Now, these are the lists of hospitals that have that offer U.S. clinical experience without participating in VSLO. That's in case your medical school does not participate in that. So the emergency medicine program at Genesis in Michigan, the University of Illinois at Chicago, Cleveland Clinic, they have a form on their website. Weill Cornell, but they do not accept U.S. citizens, and they offer that for a $3,000 fee per 4 weeks. University of Pittsburgh, and that's even more expensive, by the way. U of Alabama, University of Western Virginia, Jackson Park Hospital, that's in Chicago, and that's, I think, a community hospital, and Mercy One Hospital in Iowa. So you might want to consider those. You can email them, you can apply at their direct form if your school does not participate in VSLO. It's how you tailor your U.S. clinical experience to the match application by finding out residency programs you're going to apply for and see whether they do offer internships or observerships. Preferably actual clinical hands-on experience. That is really the smartest way to go on about it. So you're going to choose your specialty down here, maybe let's say emergency medicine, all right, and you click go. Okay, now this way you've just done a full search of the entire programs, all of them that offer emergency medicine, but that doesn't always fit you, right? So you're gonna filter out. So on the left hand side here you have refine by location, so you can actually filter out the states where you intend to live and where you would be most comfortable. So let's say Texas, for example, because it's dear to me, I was born there. Let's say Florida, maybe Illinois, I don't know, like the IMG friendly states, as they call them, New Jersey, the entire Northeast probably, okay, New England, New York, maybe Ohio, right? I think that's good. Virginia. Okay, we have a good combo here. Or you can choose by region, so you can clear out the filters of states and choose an entire region where your family lives. For example, let's say Mid-Atlantic, East, South, East, North, whatever. Okay, even by zip code, imagine. And then if you are visa requiring, which is true for a lot of IMGs, then you can filter out by the type of visa sponsored, right? And if there's a special track you would like, let's say you're going internal medicine, you want to be a hospitalist, so if that program facilitates that, it would be amazing, or primary care. And whether this program is preliminary or categorical, and then after that you can compare. Now something very nice here, and actually is the most important part, is to check the applicant type percentage. So I like to, if you're an IMG, you want to cross out those columns that have to do with the percentage of MD and DO, and you want to keep to the columns that have the IMG to them. So if you're a US IMG, you're gonna cross out non-US IMG and vice versa, so that you only see the percentage that represents your population. So here I have emergency medicine in those states that I like, and my population. Okay, that's the best way to go about it. That's how you tailor the residency programs. And then you actually have a profile where you customize your options, including career opportunities and other stuff. and then it shows you how much this program aligns with your profile preferences. Let's say you prefer, so I click on here and I prefer, for example, a academic support for step 3. So it shows that this program aligns with my preferences, and so you're more likely to choose such a program. Maybe I put in on my profile that I would like free parking, so if that program offers it, then that fits me as well, right? I like affiliated or university hospitals, so that program offers that. And very important would be the percentage of US IMGs or non-US IMGs. If you find a program that has 0% of residents of that population, then you don't really want to apply to this program. And maybe you wouldn't also want to do a US clinical experience there, because it's unlikely that they would consider your application. Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, you would more likely want to lean towards more IMG friendly programs. That's why I told you to look at the percentage here of your population. If you find like 42% IMG, then that's the program you want to look at and apply for. And if you go to the program's website from here, then you would want to look at whether they offer a US clinical experience, whether they offer hands-on internships for students, right? Let's say this is another program that has like 18%, which is not bad. And then we go on to their website and see whether they offer for medical students, whether they offer hands-on experience. You can even contact the maybe program coordinator for that if you like, if you don't find something on their website. You see here, guys? So that is one, you're gonna tailor it. Another tool that also used for residency programs would be the Frida here. And here you're gonna filter out by specialty, let's say emergency medicine as well in these locations, or states. You can also filter out by state, by type of visa accepted, and whether it's a university or community based, depending on where you want to spend your residency. And a very nice tool here, guys, would be to filter out by IMG percentage. So I want you guys to put a minimum here. You want to put a minimum of, let's say, 10% IMGs to consider that program, right? Because that is represents their welcoming to IMGs, and then they're going to consider your application if you want to apply for residency. And those same programs might also have US clinical experience offered to med students, okay? You get the idea. So you got the VSLO, you got the non-VSLO, and you got the actual hospitals that might offer it by email. You're just gonna contact them directly without having to go through VSLO or a formal application, right? And then the plan B, guys, if you are completely unable to obtain US clinical experience, you can't get the visa for any reason, if anything happens and you just cannot do it, then you have a plan B, which is also acceptable, I would say, or can be considered in your residency app, which would be to the ACGME accredited programs in the Middle East. So you have Cleveland Clinic Abu Dhabi, and you have the hospital affiliated with Weill Cornell Medicine in Qatar called Hamad Hospital. Both of these do have ACGME accredited programs, which means their system is a copycat of a US clinical setting or even residency program. And so if you get internships there, which they do offer, then you're paralleling the US clinical experience, and the letter of recommendation should mention that in some way, and it would be considered, don't worry, okay? Now, something you need to consider would be the requirements that a lot of these programs would require, or a lot of these hospitals would. Number one would be your personal statement or cover letter, as in why you're applying here, fine. And how you express yourself would say a lot about whether they consider you or not. A lot of these are competitive already. They may require USMLE Step 1, not all of them though. I know of Cleveland Clinic that requires it. Now, the most important requirement would be your official transcript. Now, a lot of these would require that you be a final year medical student in order to rotate there, not a graduate and not anything before a final year student. So this is like the sweet spot for them. So you want to apply when you're at that stage. And the official transcript must show certain clerkships that you must have fulfilled and finished before applying. And so that's why the official transcript is such an important document, listing all the courses. Then you got the other important document being your letter of good standing. That's the dean's letter, or maybe written by your a medical school official, a faculty, preferably the dean or vice dean on school letterhead, and it has to mention your graduation date so that they know you're in your final year, right? They also need letters of recommendation, maybe from your professors, from someone who has observed your clinical skills, especially in an inpatient setting, on official letterhead as well, because they want to know you as a, like, how would you work in their clinical setting, right? You're someone completely foreign to them and they don't know how you work. A CV as well with your qualifications. And a lot of these hospitals and programs would require a test of English proficiency, especially if you are not a native English speaker. Let's say you're not from the UK, you're not from New Zealand, you're not from an English-speaking country, then you would need to provide evidence of English proficiency. But this can be waived in a lot of programs if your school's education, medical education language is English. Sometimes they waive it, sometimes they don't, so you may want to check with the program. And finally, many of these require a tuition fee, but as I mentioned, guys, the residency program search can show you hospitals that don't need any form of tuition to allow you to rotate there. So that's a plus. That's like a hidden secret, maybe. And finally, the health screening, which usually would be done after you get accepted. And I'm going to mention that in the next slide. And the HIPAA certificate, that's for patient privacy, and that's pretty quick to finish, and you just send them the certificate. So the health clearance, they usually need a TB screening, especially if you come from a TB heavy country such as maybe India, the Philippines, I don't know, some areas in Africa as well. So you need to provide evidence of a negative screening test, whether the interferon gamma blood test or the PPD skin test. And a lot of them also require immunizations or evidence of titers that show you're immune to hepatitis B, most importantly. Also the MMR, measles, mumps, rubella, varicella, whether immune if you're infected or vaccinated. A Tdap is important as well. And if you're gonna rotate in the winter, that's after October, you would want to take the influenza vaccine and obviously the COVID vaccine. So that's it for this video. I hope it provided you insights into how you can get US clinical experience, and it's not really a hard thing, but it just needs preparation and it needs time. You need to give sufficient time for all those stuff. At least 6 months in advance you should be preparing for it, and that's how you do it without using services that cost you like an arm and a leg, right? In addition to the tuition itself. So yeah, hope this video helped. Let me know what you think.